This is the Dallas Morning News. It's Monday, June 8th. A mix of sun and clouds today with breezy and humid conditions throughout the afternoon and evening. There is a chance of an afternoon thunderstorm. Mostly clear this evening, though, with a low of 76. Here are today's headlines. Governor Greg Abbott expanded a statewide disaster declaration Friday, authorizing the use of all available personnel and resources to fight what has been described as an infestation of the New World screwworm in South Texas. State and federal officials at the Department of Public Safety's headquarters in Austin sought to present a united front against the flesh-eating insect that can decimate livestock. The U.S. Department of Agriculture late Friday confirmed a second detection of the New World screwworm. It was found in a 1-month-old calf in Zavala County, about 5.6 miles from the first detection on Wednesday. The USDA said a strike team was on site and movement restrictions were in place. State officials stressed Friday that the New World screwworm does not create a food or disease risk for humans. It affects food production. A widespread infestation in the U.S. could further drive up beef prices, which were already elevated by an import ban on Mexican cattle and the lingering effects of 2024 wildfires that decimated many herds in Panhandle ranchlands. The USDA has estimated that a screwworm outbreak could cause $1.8 billion in damage to Texas's economy. In other news, after a bruising week for downtown Dallas, Mayor Eric Johnson says the city cannot afford to cling to a half-century-old city hall as he stepped up his push to free the site for redevelopment. Johnson, in his Sunday newsletter, said Dallas must be willing to remake itself and compete more aggressively with neighboring cities for investment, jobs, and attractions. He described the current City Hall site as a dead zone and said moving government operations and redeveloping the 12-acre property could create new housing, attractions, and economic activity in the city's core. Johnson said last week for the first time he supports shifting city operations out of the nearly 50-year-old I.M. Pei-designed building. Consultants have estimated repairs and upgrades would cost between $532 million and $611 million over the next decade. His latest message comes as some downtown advocates and residents have faulted city leaders, including the mayor, for a series of recent setbacks downtown. That criticism has intensified after Neiman Marcus's decision to close its flagship store, the Mavericks' pursuit of a new arena district in North Dallas, and the Stars' selection of Plano as the leading contender for a future arena and entertainment district. Next up, for years, White Rock Lake's boathouse has served youth rowers, college athletes, and community programs. Now it has become the center of a growing dispute between residents who say the city has failed to enforce accountability and nonprofit leaders who are suing the city of Dallas and argue that they are being targeted despite decades of investment in the facility. The dispute centers on White Rock Boathouse, Inc., the nonprofit operator of rowing facilities at White Rock Lake, including the larger city-owned boathouse, the historic Boomerang facility, and the Filter Building. A new resident campaign and website, White Rock Lake Accountability, comes as Dallas faces pressure over proposed parks budget cuts of $14 million that could reduce recreation services citywide, slash dozens of jobs, and shut down 4 community centers. And the Texas electric grid could experience a new all-time peak demand this summer thanks to a combination of hotter temperatures and growing number of large electricity users like data centers. Despite this, ERCOT officials said there is a low risk of a grid emergency. Dan Woodfin, ERCOT's vice president of system operations, said this summer's peak load is forecasted to climb as high as 92 gigawatts. This follows several consecutive summers of peak loads only rising to 84 or 85 gigawatts. The current power demand record is 85.5 gigawatts, set during record-breaking heat in August of 2023. 1 gigawatt is enough to serve 250,000 residential homes during peak hours. The weather pattern over the next few months is even more uncertain than usual because of El Niño. But ERCOT is prepared for a hot summer with temperatures comparable to 2023. Thanks for listening. For more on today's stories and the latest breaking news, visit dallasnews.com. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from the Dallas Morning News.